nonstop hell with the city of Denver.
Really?
Helping these people out, a bunch of people out, and they're getting frustrated with the city of Denver.
Well, let's sell those rental properties. Let's sell them. Here's the thing, they need to sell them quick before all the other investors figure out they don't want to fight with the city either.
Yeah, that's true too.
Good morning.
Or the big companies are starting to gobble them up though.
Yeah, because they're willing to play the silly game.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoops, turn this bad boy around. Okay, what you guys can see me, right? Can
Yes.
y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Hang
Okay,
on.
hold on,
We're
'cause
back.
I'm not getting sound and the sound bar is on. Happens now. Okay, check, Taylor.
Yes, we can hear you.
And I can hear you. Perfecto. I'll just turn it around. Tell you how much fun we're having here. It's just me and Jeff.
Oh, boy.
It's pretty quiet in here. All right. Happy spring break day.
Oh, is it? Oh, it is, isn't it? Hang on.
It is for at least Jefferson County, so. But I think for some other people, it was last week, so.
Well, I noticed when we had to pick up some stuff from the mall that it was just packed.
Well, that happens. That happens. All right. It's time. It's 10:03. Let's rock and roll. We got the mighty five here, and who cares? So this just means we're gonna have some fun and we're gonna get some stuff done. Would love to see some beautiful faces. And so with that, let me just really quick get this done. So who's got some good news to share?
I have a ton of open house attendees to reach out to today again.
Good. I have a story about open houses I want to share with you guys.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. Anybody else?
I'm doing my first open house of the year over the weekend. This weekend.
Next weekend?
This
Nice.
coming weekend.
Awesome. Where is it?
I've got one of two that I can do. I don't know. I have not been assigned yet. So
Okay, so who are you getting these from?
Mr. Bob.
Perfect. All right. So do you guys need more help or is he finding all of the people?
He's finding all the people.
Awesome. Okay, well then maybe I'm going to switch gears on this conversation today. Okay, who else got good news? Christina Quiones.
Let's hear it.
Margaret, I forgot. So, we did a closing.
That's it. She did her second closing. By the way, it's with the same investor. So do you know what that means she's going to have in the future?
More.
Another listing.
Hmm.
Okay, nice work. Yay, 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 yay. Nikki Garcia, welcome to the party. What good news do you have to share with us this morning?
I had a closing last week.
Yes, baby. Yay, 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 yay. By the way, Nikki had a rough 2022. She had a good start in 2021. 2022 threw a bunch of curveballs and to be real honest, got skunked for the whole year. And now she's coming out swinging.
Yay.
Right? So what that says to you guys is that even if you're feeling like nothing's happening yet, I'm feeling like I'm doing all the right activities and it's not going anywhere. What Nikki would tell you and what I'm going to tell you, because she went back on mute, is don't stop. Don't stop. Okay. If you keep the wheels turning, right? Granted, today is the first day of spring. The clouds do not give me a blue sky screening, screaming, spring screaming day this morning. But that being said, snow and ice will still be part of Colorado, even over the next couple of months, potentially, right? And when you're
Yep.
driving on a slow road, an icy road going uphill, what do? What's the number one rule? Keep the wheels turning, right? If you
Yep.
have any level of momentum on that car, you will get up that hill. When you stop, you're done.
Pretty much.
Okay. So keep your momentum, right? Whatever it is, right? And once you get over the icy patch, put the gas down and make up for lost time. Okay. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Diane, you and I were having a tech. Oh, just as she took a bite. I'm sorry. I will give you time to get prepared to speak, and I'll just dance until you're ready. So Diane and I were having a text message this week. So Diane has taken me up on this accountability piece. And this accountability piece is, she goes, in order for me to do what I have to have someone hold me accountable. Well, that's my job. So I got a text message from Diane last week at the end of the week, and it just had a number on it. Now, in true coaches fashion, when you coach 80 people, I probably didn't remember exactly what that number was supposed to represent, but I knew it was something important. So I pushed back, sent it back, and I'm like, awesome, tell me more, I think is probably exactly what the text message said. Because tell me more is a great way to learn more information without admitting you don't know it. It's one of the many words. And by the way, when you're ever talking to a buyer or seller and you want more information and they throw up a curveball at you, they give you an objection, the words tell me more about that is a great way to get them to keep going.
Yep.
If they give you an objection on timing, tell me more about that. Tell me why that's important to you. Tell me what makes that important, right? Those are great words that we use and we learn as coaches, right? Some of you've probably heard me say that to you. And you're like, well, now that you say it, Margaret, I have, okay? So Diane told me more. And by the way, I'm waiting for her 411 to be scanned and sent to my email this morning. See, accountability, even in a group session.
It's right here.
There it goes. All right. So what did that number 8 represent to you, Diane?
It just sounds like it's 8 leads, but it's really me becoming even more outgoing in places that I would have never thought. So craziest thing was I picked up a guild donation on Friday afternoon, and the mother, the daughter, the 2 daughters, and the nephew were all moving. So seriously, the card was out there. I said, please give me a call if you can. Love to help you all. I picked up 3 new contacts from my pickleball. I have 2 new neighbors that I went down and dropped off a little pop-by. And then I was standing in the Popeyes line, and it was rather long, and I decided to say hi. And there you go. They're all leads. They're nothing grand, but they represent.
They represent a lot. Okay. These are 8 people she didn't know before last week.
Yep.
These are 8 people that she's adding to her database this week, which
Yep.
means now she can put them on smart plans, which now means she can communicate them and she can nurture them. So even though they're not a hot lead today, although I just found out that that one family is, they are people. And here's what I was most proud of. How many of you are willing, by the way, she said Popeyes, like the chicken place. That's where she met those people. She was standing in line getting greasy, fat food, horribly fattening chicken.
Yes.
And she used it as an opportunity to make a new friend. I am so proud, because I am betting that was the hardest thing for you to do, was to turn around in that line and say, hi, so what are you ordering today?
Yeah.
Right? I think that is a clapper, right? I am so proud of that, right? And the guild thing, right? They got your information. Do you have their information? So you can circle back and say, I know you're moving. How can I help you?
So yeah, those things were, I have the one address, which all of them are using right now. And then I've got 2 emails. So,
Do you have this?
oh, actually, no, I have Marie's number. So I'm good.
Perfect. All right. I love it. How many of you would have said something to somebody in the Popeyes line? Or the TSA line?
I always talk to people first.
That's like something that I'm working on right now because I see opportunities all the time to interject and it takes everything in me to do it.
Mhm. Yeah, the word hi is an amazing word. Jeff just told me he talks to people in the grocery store all the time. Tell me more about that.
Well, often I get asked to grab something off the top shelf, so that starts a conversation right there.
So having some height in your body and people, you're helping people like me who can't reach. I love that.
Yeah, but I'm just standing in line though to get checked out.
Yeah.
I'm always talking to people there.
Yes. I was at King Soopers yesterday. What I had to say to the person probably would not have done me any good, so I chose to keep my mouth shut. But Andy always tells me, Mom, it's faster to go through self-checkout. I don't know why you always go to a person. And I always go to a person because it gives me an opportunity to have a conversation with the person who's checking my groceries, right? Well, yesterday I was in a hurry. I was in a really big hurry. I had to stop and pick up a card. I had to get somewhere. And so I was like, fine, I'll do the self-checkout line. So I'm standing there and then I stepped away for a second to grab something and this guy cut me off. So now he's in front of me with this big basket. Like it probably had 40 items in it. And then it was the slowest. The people who were at self-checkout were probably all a good 20 to 25 years older than I am. And you all know how old I am. And I'm like going, come on, people. I could have been through with a clerk 100 times to Friday. But anyway, I chose not to say anything because I would have been not very nice to that old man.
Good job,
Okay.
Margaret.
I know. Either that or I would have hurt him and then he would have needed to sell his house. So I want you guys to have some calendar things and I want to tell you about some things. So you asked for a couple of weeks ago, might have been last week even. I said that if I hosted for you a home buying seminar in which I was the instructor, we did all the planning. All you had to do was bring your home buyers. How many of you would have buyers show up? How many of you would invite people and find people to come to that? And many of you said, I would. And as a matter of fact, Taylor sent me a text and said, I already have people. When's it going to be? It's going to be April 19th, which is the third Wednesday of next month. It's going to be in the Old Town office. So come to Skills Lab from 12:30 to 2:30. And then come get your people to invite your people. We're going to start with like just a little social time. We're going to make a couple, Andy's going to make some charcuterie boards. We're going to have some iced tea, lemonade, maybe some mini bundt cakes because those are my favorite thing. Starting at 5:30, then we'll start the actual workshop at 6, and that should be wrapped up by 7. Stacy's in the process of creating your collateral. She's going to give you social media posts. She's going to give you emails that you can write. She's going to literally do everything for you, except for one thing. You got to invite the people. Okay. We are arranging for the lender to be there. We're checking with the lender to see if we can advertise it as pre-approvals on the spot. Yes, Diane. Yes. Okay. So start thinking. I also made the decision. I am not calling it first-time home buyer. A lot of people suddenly go, well, I bought a house 10 years ago. I don't need this. And the reality is buying a home today is extremely different than buying a home it was even 2 years ago, let alone 10 years ago. So we're probably going to name it something like buying a home in 2023, right? Or how to buy a home in Denver in 2023, something like that. So you're not limited to first-time home buyers. Questions, thoughts, comments? How many of you are going to show up with people?
I'll invite people.
Taylor's got her hand up.
I will.
Okay. Think about the people you've met at open houses. I just gave you an excuse to call them. I just gave you an excuse to call every single parent who's got a college graduate. Anybody in your world. And heck, just advertise it to your entire sphere because you don't know who the buyers are. Right? All right. So I don't know. I'm excited. We're going to do it. So away we go. A couple of things, several things. God, I got 2 sticky notes standing here for me. So yeah, tomorrow, March 21st, I am teaching a class. I don't know what time it is. But we're going to be spending some time in Simon Sinek's Why Leaders Eat Last. And so super great book, super great video we're going to watch. We're going to talk about how to apply it into our world. Even though you're not a leader of a team, you're not a leader of an organization, you are leading your clients through the home buying process. So you are leaders, even if you are not. Then on Friday, March 24th, we are hearing from you. Again, we try and react to you, right? We need more script practice. I need more conversation understandings. I need to know what to say. Well, did you know that Charles teaches a class every other Friday about know what to say?
It's a great class. Too.
It's a great class, right? So go, right? It's Zoomable, right? It's all on Zoom. So go practice, get better. Okay. Oh, this Saturday's dual career. So I have started inviting you guys to all of the dual career on Saturday because we're getting very content specific. Have any of you ever joined any of those on Saturday, even though you just put up with me on the following Monday?
Jody was great, by the way, Saturday.
Well, then I'll just let her teach all the time.
But I'm saying you're good too, but you had some great insight that I think actually me and Casey kind of dominated the class because we kind of like really grabbed onto what she was saying. And some of the people kind of really newbies weren't getting it, but it was really, really great for the 2 of us.
What she talked about how to take your listing to market, right?
Yeah, and all the tools you just kind of describe about how to like the timing and so forth, and kind of really get them to like buy into like, hey, we need to do this process, and if we don't do this process, you might lose out on your money, like your value might go down. You might not get as much money, and here's some insights as far as like what questions you should ask, and to include a tool to help you get information.
Yep, absolutely. Love it. Yeah, I love having Jody teach. I love how we do the Saturdays, right? Where you've got 4 different coaches plus Bob. So you're getting a variety of different voices. And what's interesting is I know I've taught a similar class to what Jody has, right? But hearing maybe even some of the same things from a different voice, it just triggers differently. Right? Love it. So this week we are talking about, I'm under contract. I really want to call it's something different than what it's going to be called. I'm under contract. Now what? Right. And I'm also going to include in that, it's going to be listing specific. Can you tell we're focused on listings? Okay. We're going to do, I'm under contract. What the hell do I do now? And included in that is an appraisal package. And I am going to literally hand to you the recipe that I use and Amanda uses and a lot of our top agents use when we are meeting appraisers at our listings. Okay. So if you've got time Saturday, come join us. It's from 9 to 11. Why do we do it so early? So you still have time to do open houses starting at 12 or 1 o'clock. So you can get the education. Then April 8th, 2. Not 1, 2 free FREE CE credits. Again, it's a Saturday, and land title is coming, and they're going to be talking about 2 things. It's going to be how to read a title commitment. How many of you know how to read a title commitment? How many of you are confident in reading a title commitment? Everybody's hands went down. Saw that, right? Go take the class. And it's a free CE credit. And she's also going to do the net sheets. Net sheets are super important when you're working with sellers, both at the time when you're upfront going through the listing and trying to get them to take your price, and then when you're comparing offers. So super great skills. Okay. Are you done writing yet? I got more. April 5th. Now, this is going to cost a little bit of money. Okay. But the region is the Colorado region. I love that Russ is really investing some really great personal time of his, as well as his contacts in maps. And he's bringing in education at the regional level that actually makes a difference. It's not just to have a class. So on April 5th, he is bringing in the morning Julia Lachey. Diane and Diana at family reunion, did Julia hit the stage anywhere?
I believe so.
Is she not amazing? Like, I loved listening to her. Taylor, you heard her when we were up in Vail. If you have never had the opportunity to listen to Julia Lachey, you do not want to miss this. And the class she is teaching, she is this close to having it approved by the Colorado Real Estate Commission for CE credits. Okay, so you can come listen to Julia. She's going to talk to us, what she always talks about, right? She is our diversity and equity and inclusion, but she always makes it just so real. And it really helps you become aware of, you know what? I might think the beach ball's red because from my side it is, and from Jeff's side it's yellow, and from Diana's side it's blue. And how to be more aware just culturally and all of those types of things in our world. So I love how she brings those awarenesses to us. Then the second component to the day is they're doing masterminds. Okay, so there's 3 different masterminds. Okay, one is for the top 100 agents. Now you have to have an invitation to get to that one. However, if you don't get invited to that one, there is an agent mastermind that's being led by a top producing agent here in the Denver metro area. I don't know what subject matter they're going to cover, but who cares, right? To be able to learn and to hear from somebody else who's doing business at a high level, great way to spend your day on April 5th. Then April 13th, agent financials. Okay, you would think somebody like me who's got an accounting degree, who teaches business planning clinics, doesn't need to learn anything about agent financials. And the reality is I do. We all do.
That's an all-day class.
That's an all-day class. It's with Jean Rivers. Jean is a storyteller. You will love, Jean will work in other things other than just boring money stuff. Okay, so I would encourage you guys on April 13th to take that class. Okay.
I'm just going to get out there and do the pom-poms for Jean Rivers. I had 45 minutes at family reunion. Best time I've ever spent. Don't miss this guy.
Did you learn about his coffee cups?
No, everybody keeps asking me. He's never said anything about the coffee cups.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Did Gene talk about how he rebuilt his business in Florida when he and his wife lost it all?
Yes. Yes, he
Okay.
did.
Okay, so how did he do it?
I don't remember.
Well, you kind of did it this weekend. So
Well.
Gene and his wife had a business and they lost it all and they built it back up. And how did they do it? So they live in a small town in Florida and they always would go to breakfast the same place every day. And it's kind of like a Chipotle where you have to stand in line to order your breakfast instead of sitting down. So he and his wife would intentionally split up in the line. Okay, and this little restaurant always had a lot of people. And so just like Diane at Popeyes, Gene would start a conversation with the people around him at breakfast, and Mrs. Gene, whose name I can't remember right now, but Mrs. Rivers would start a conversation in her section in the line of people around her. And then they'd get their food and they'd go have their breakfast. And the next morning they would do the same thing. Well, here's what happens when you find those little local restaurants that are like that. Who's in there?
The locals.
Same people all the time. And so by getting to know people standing in line in this restaurant, they were double hitting, and that is how they rebuilt their business. Right? So whether it's Popeyes, whether it's the local coffee shop, Rick Haar in our own office, built a really big business getting coffee at the Loaf and Jug on 64th and Quaker. He went in there multiple times a day to go get his coffee and got to know the regulars that were always in there at the same time every morning grabbing their coffees. Right? So those types of things work. So you're gonna learn that from Gene. Anyway, great class. All right. My favorite coach, one of my favorite coaches. You guys probably are going to already know who it's going to be. It's Jeff Glover. Jeff Glover is coming to town April 27th. The region is supporting this class, so therefore I feel that I can. Normally I don't, because Jeff's still Keller Williams, but I try not to over push his stuff. But this is a great time to hear from Jeff. He's going to be talking about 17 ways to be successful in the summer market. So great chance. You can be sure that Stacy and I might already be registered for that class on the 27th. Okay. All right. What's today? Okay, I can announce. Okay. How many of you? Okay, so April has how many days in it?
Last time I checked, there's 30.
There's 30 days. Okay. How many of you like to have coffee or tea or happy hour? Let's stick with coffee and tea. How many of you like to go meet people and have coffee? Yeah, I would be shocked if not all of you didn't raise your hand. Okay, so we're going to do a little something, something.
Uh-oh.
How many of you like picking up and calling your sphere and saying, hi, I'm new to real estate. And who do you know that needs to buy, sell, or real estate? Buy, sell, or invest in real estate? How many of you like that? None of you. Some of you don't want to tell anybody you're in real estate. I don't want to call them and tell them I'm in real estate. It's slimy. So, but I'll go have coffee. So here's what we're going to do. For the month of April, we have a challenge. 30 coffees in 30 days. Now, you can have all 30 in one day. I don't want to see you that day, but you could. But our goal is 30 coffees in 30 days. Now, there's going to be a little bit of accountability with this. And there's going to be a little bit of commitment. If you are willing to take the commitment to say, I am going to, not I'll try, but I am going to meet 30 different people and have 30 coffee dates in 30 days. You're going to sign a commitment with me that says that you're committed to doing it. When you sign that commitment letter, I will buy your first cup of coffee and you will receive a $5 Starbucks card from me. With 80 of you, that's a $400 investment. This is how much I believe in what we're going to do. Then there's going to be a form that you have to fill out every day. No, you can't wait till the end of the month. You got to do it every day. How many coffees you went on that day. Okay. Now, Easter is in April, and I know that. So one day you're going to have to go on two. Because Starbucks won't be open on Easter Sunday. But you could have a coffee date at church with somebody and say, hey, can we meet for coffee at church? You could do that as long as it's scheduled in advance. So every day you're going to fill in on this worksheet how many coffees you had that day. For everyone who completes the challenge of 30 coffees in 30 days, they will be put in a drawing to receive a $100 gift card from, are you ready? Starbucks, right? So now you're going to get reimbursed for almost every single one of your coffees, and you'll have the money to keep going and have more. Now, just because you invite someone to coffee doesn't mean you're paying, because that could get really expensive. I get that, right? And some of you are not in a place with your business to be able to do that, nor would I encourage it. So here is the trick. Show up to the coffee shop 10 minutes before your appointment, go get your coffee, and go sit down. Because then when the person you're meeting shows up, you're going to be already sitting there with your chai latte or whatever it is you're drinking. And you're just going to wave at them, and they're going to do what? Go buy their own coffee. Okay, who's in? Anybody? Taylor's in. Jeff's in. Really?
I'm
Mark was
counting.
up on
I'm
it.
counting
What are you counting?
the number of people. I've only got 18, so I got to get what, 12 more?
You've got more than that in your phone, and I know it. So I all I'm saying is, this is a great way to reconnect with people on a higher level, and it's going to put you in a position of opportunity. And the position of opportunity is one that you get to talk about being in real estate, because when you're sitting across the table face to face, it's going to happen organically. Because every single person on this call is proud of what you are. You worked hard to get here. So make sure you've got your market of the moment spiel figured out, because you're going to get asked at least 30 times in 30 days. Okay. So more to come on that, but I wanted to get you start thinking about it. I wrote down notes, but I didn't put it all up in my head. Okay. I have a question. How many of you came last Wednesday to the skills lab? Anybody here? Taylor did? So
I
you were in the
really
room.
wanted
I
to.
missed it.
Yeah, I was at
So Taylor,
closing.
yeah, you were at a closing. So Taylor, you were in the room with us?
Yes.
Okay. I was very focused on my role. So let me ask you this first before I talk about it. What was your takeaway?
It's always really nice seeing the way that people position a conversation and the different ways that they kind of go at different angles of different aspects about a listing consultation. And my number one thing that I wrote down about Brittany specifically was that she was just exuding confidence. Like, yes, you're going to get pushback on things here and there, but she just made you feel so comfortable because she always knew or seemed to know exactly what she was talking about. You had a question or a pushback, and she knew exactly what to say.
Mm-hmm. Did you think that we had scripted that?
No, it didn't
And
seem
we
very
had not.
scripted. Yeah.
And we had not.
No.
I just want everybody to know that, right? We did not.
Mhm.
Basically, she knew my ad. So here's what we did. Brittany sold my house. Brittany came to my house. Now my house, she used my real home. Everything was real, to the point that I had people believing I was moving to Iowa. It was so real. Okay. It was actually quite funny. And she had the comps on my property. She knew what my property looked like because she has been to my house. We're almost neighbors, right? It was very real. We didn't talk about what she was going to say, what I was going to say. We just did it as if it was real at my kitchen counter, at my dining room table. And so we have pulled that recording off of Zoom, because Zoom now loses them like really fast. So Stacy is in the process of uploading those for permanency into our coaching YouTube channel. So for those of you that weren't able to make it because you were at a closing, or because you had other things going on, or you were dual career, it's going to be there for you to watch. But I felt like it was super valuable and it was super real. And I was sad we didn't have more people there. But it is what it is. So here's what I'm also going to tell you. Would you like to have the same thing happen for a buyer consultation? It is. We are doing a live buyer consultation, different people. So it's not Brittany and it's not me, but we are doing a live buyer consultation with a person who is preparing to buy a home. And again, it's being done by one of our top agents in the market center. So I would encourage you all right now, April 19th, 12:30 to 2:30, block the calendar. Because here's the beauty, you guys. If you have blocked your calendar, let's say you have a closing on April 19th. Guess what? You can tell your client, let's do it in the morning. You can control your own calendars, right? I already have an appointment at 12:30. Let's do the closing at 10. Okay. This is how you learn to manage your calendars, by blocking stuff out. We have, we switched out the board. We have laid out a skills lab schedule from now till the end of the year that is pure fire. Right? absolute pure fire. And so, and the beauty of it is I don't teach very often because you hear my voice too much. So I would encourage you all to block the third Wednesday of every month, 12:30 to 2:30 is Coaching Skills Lab. Okay, because we are going to bring you things that you're going to go, holy moly. Okay, and I really felt like we had that last week with what we did. So examples of what we're going to be bringing you. Okay, we are going to bring in a high-level education course on the DISC, how to deal with people of different personality types, right? That will help you not only in your career, but in your relationships with your friends, families, and your husbands or wives. We are going to bring you, I am going to bring back the CTME hacks, specifically around the auto. Nikki's going, thank God. So if any of you have ever written an offer, the hardest thing that people struggle with is how to put the dates and deadlines into the contract to buy and sell. I am going to teach that at a very high level. I'm going to teach you how to build a template so it automatically populates it for you. And I'm going to teach you the hack so that you don't have to tweak very many. So for any of you that have ever written an offer for a buyer, you're all going, please, when is it? Can you switch the buyer consult and do that next month? No, we can't. We are just bringing you a ton of stuff. So please, 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 please. I will tell you this as an instructor or a guest instructor, there's nothing worse than nobody showing up. Okay. I am bringing in some of the best, even from outside our market center. We're going to do just a lot of stuff. Questions? Can you tell I'm excited about it?
Yes,
If
we
I'm
can.
excited,
It's even
if I'm excited about it, you all should be excited about it, right?
Cool.
Because I can do a lot of this stuff like the back of my hand, and it's not exciting, right? So to be bringing you the caliber of people that we're bringing for you to learn from is only going to help you all get better. Okay. Questions, thoughts, comments? Okay. A few weeks ago, we were talking about open houses, and I talk about open houses a lot, primarily because, damn it, they work. They work. However, you got to do them right. And it takes a skill and it takes practice. And one of the things that I shared with you guys, and I will send it back out again, is I got a plan from a team somewhere else in the country. And it talked about when you work in open house, the communication plan afterwards. You guys remember that? Okay. And so one of the things, does anybody remember what the first thing was that team did?
The one sheet was just a text as you leave.
The text as you leave. Okay. So how many of you have ever heard this fact? No one ever walks into a house unrepresented and buys that house that's being held open. Has anyone ever heard that fact?
I bet it happened to me, but it's not all the time.
It's a myth. Okay. How many of you have ever heard the only people that come to open houses are looky-loos and people who already have agents? Every open house I've ever worked is they've all been represented. How many of you have heard that one? Well, God, good thing you guys aren't hearing all that stuff.
Yeah,
You've heard it, but don't believe it. So I'm going to tell you a little story, and this is firsthand. In 3 weeks, 2 open houses. They walked in unrepresented. I'm now under contract with them to purchase the house I was hosting open. One of them was $1.4 million. The other one is $950,000. By the way, I already signed up to do an open house next weekend. Okay. Now, by the way, I'm not taking away opportunities from you guys. I'm still out there finding those for you as well. Okay. I did the text thing this weekend. I'm like, I'm going to try it. Oh my God. Like she answered right away. Like she literally walked out the door. We finished a conversation with somebody else. So within like 5 minutes of her walking out the door, I sent a text. Hey, it's Margaret, blah, 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 blah. Let me know. She texted back because I want to see the house again tomorrow, which was Sunday. Then I found out they had multiple offers and they were making a decision at 9:30 in the morning. So I called her that Saturday night and I said, I don't mean to be pushy because that's not my style. but I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't tell you what's going on. How early can you get there? And she said, I can be there in 20 minutes. So I went back to the house 20 minutes later. And an hour later, she said, let's do it. And I went home and wrote a contract, submitted the offer at 10:30 at night, and was under contract while I was in church at 10:05. You guys, this works. Okay. The key is you got to follow up. And I wasn't even 100% sure on either of these two people that they were really going to bite, and they did. Okay. But it's about the conversations. The funniest part to this story is one of the multiple offers on the house from this weekend had been to the open house the weekend before without me. I wasn't there that weekend. And there was a young couple there, and they said, we really like this house, but we really like this other one, and we're not sure what we're going to do. And they went and they wrote on the other property that they terminated on in the same week. They came back to the open house. Now they have an agent, because the agent at that open house picked them up, right? They were one of the offers we beat out. So had they made an offer the first weekend at the first open house, they'd be the owner. They would be in the process of buying that house today. So that's 3 buyers in 3 weekends that walked into the open house buying the property they walked into. Taylor, you worked an open house this weekend. You were yesterday, but I loved hearing you say, I have a bunch of open house leads to follow up with. What were you seeing when you were out there this weekend?
A lot of this property actually came back on market after being under contract. So everyone was kind of asking about that. And then not a lot of people were working with realtors this weekend, which was also very nice. And they were in the very early stages and everyone was just kind of looking, but it's fun to see them be very closed off at the very beginning. And then you get to chatting with them a little bit. And then it's just like a little game. You have to crack them open and actually see what they're looking to do. And I think that's one of the best skills to be doing at an open house, because everyone's going to come on closed off. You know, they're not going to be like, oh, I'm unrepresented, I want this, this, and that, you know? So it's just like a little game when they come in. But everyone was just kind of looking around, and everyone loves the recommendations that we tell them as well, if that wasn't the perfect house for them.
Okay. So one of the things we did, so we were in Candelas, and there were 3 ranches that hit the market or were on the market this weekend. So 3 ranches, one of them was listed at $945, another one was listed at $1.2, and the other one was listed at $1.25. So what we did, our open house started at noon. At 10:30, we went and previewed the other 2 ranch homes. And we had the printouts of the other 2 ranch properties at our open house. What that allowed us to do was that people who typically walk into a ranch open house are looking for what? Ranches, right? And if I would have really taken the time and had the time, we probably would have gone and previewed every other home in Candelas. Just didn't have time. Okay. But by knowing those other properties the way we did, exactly what Taylor just said, this one wasn't the right fit. But guess what? I sent one party down the road to Amanda and Nikki, and I sent another party to another open house. Now, that one was really easy to do because they already had a buyer's agent. So I didn't lose anything by sending him to somebody else's open house. Right. So I think the key is, and I think most of you on this call are open house hosters, right? You guys like working open houses. But the thing is, if you're not working and getting the results, they become a labor. And then they don't even become a labor of love. They just become a pain in the butt. And then that appearance shows through on how you handle yourself at the open houses and people to turn away. Okay. So I share this one to let you guys know these work so that you're not giving up. There's some things that I learned this weekend, and I told Stacy, we're going back to the basics. We're going back to how we built our business in 2015. And that is, we're previewing the competition homes in the neighborhood so we can talk to them, right? There's nothing better than being able to say, well, when you go down to that house that's listed at 125, there's actually a secret bookcase that opens up to another room.
Was there?
Yes, there was. right? But if you didn't know it was there, you wouldn't have found it. Right? They made the doorway to the storage room a bookcase, and you had to pull it open, and then you could walk into the storage instead of just having a door there. So it was a good use of space, and it just was kind of cool. How many people have a secret door in their basement? Right. The other one, we were able to talk about the views, and we were able to talk about the differences of how they set on the lots. We were able to talk about the finishes of the different ones, because guess what? They were all basically the same floor plan. And I do believe that helped us sell the house we were in. Right. The other thing we did is we killed the sign-in sheet this weekend. We never used sign-in sheets. Now, Diane, don't freak out, because here's what we do differently. As Taylor said, when people walk in the door, they're guarded, right? Just like we are when we go to Nordstrom's and we want to buy a pair of black pants. Can I help you find anything? What do we all say? Just looking, stay away from me. I don't want your pushy sales approach. I'll find my own damn black pants. My own doggone black pants. COVID has still messed with my brain, man. I gotta tell you. Anyway, right? Those people walking into the open house are doing the same thing to you. So that's how you get Mickey Mouse. That's how you get Daffy Duck. That's how you get all of that stuff. Phone numbers that are transposed. Come on. Those of us that are older remember back in the bar days, we would give out the phone number to dial a prayer. Remember that? I did. I had it memorized. Can I get your phone number? Sure. There you go. Never heard from those guys. I wonder why. Oh, they got a different kind of message. All right. Anyway, my point is, people do the same thing to us at open houses because they don't want other realtors. They believe that they're just going to get hammered. They're going to get strong sales pitch. It's going to be used car salesman. All the things that you all tell me you don't want to be. Guess what? Everyone thinks when they walk into the open house, that's who you are. So don't be that. So we're like, come on in. How did you find us? How are things going? All the scripts I tell you to use all the time, you've heard them a million times. You've all been with me long enough, right? That you've heard it, right? Do not ask, do you have an agent? And if you're not confident in your conversations, then when you're out setting signs with your open house partners, role play them. Role play it. Practice it. Practice it in the mirror on the way. By the way, on the way to the open house, say, I'm going to sell this house today. Repeat after me. I am going to sell this house today. Repeat after me. I am going to sell this house today. And guess what? It works. I actually told the seller last weekend, don't worry, you're going to be on that cruise ship under contract. I'm going to find you a buyer this weekend. And I did. Right? So here's what we do. I still get contact information. Now, here's the beauty. If I'm building up a conversation with people, I get to decide if I want to work with them or not. Okay. There was one guy that came to the open house. I didn't ask him to fill out the feedback form because he was such a inappropriate word that I won't say it. He was not a very kind person and he was very argumentative. He knew more about real estate than I did. So therefore he didn't need me and I really didn't want to work with him. So I didn't even care if I got his contact info. I didn't care. Right? So we started, Stacy redesigned a feedback form. Okay. And here's my script. So I'll tell them about the house and I'll say, I just need you to do one thing for me before you leave today. And that one thing is this: when, as buyer's agents, when we go out and show the homes, one of the courtesies we give to the listing agent and the seller is we give them feedback on what our buyers thought. Obviously, here from the open house, you're going to have feedback, but I don't have a good way to give that to the seller. So we've created a feedback form. And if you would be so kind to fill that out, we will share that with the seller. Do we get 100%? No. But I would say we probably get 75%. And I'll take that all day long. By the way, we probably had, I don't know, 14 groups come through in 2 hours. Like, so what? I got 75% instead of 100. I don't care. I got the 75% I wanted. Right? So they'll fill out the feedback form. And then when they're filling out the feedback form at the kitchen island, it gives me another time to have a conversation. What'd you think about the house?
Yeah.
When you're tag teaming with people, the other thing we do is usually a lot of times we're in joint conversations just because of there's nobody else there. But when we got busy, I stepped to a different room. And then I would be having a conversation with somebody. And when I finished, I would go find somebody else in the house who wasn't talking to Stacy. So I walked out on the deck and I said, I didn't get a chance to say hi. Do you have any questions? That's all I was doing. I didn't get a chance to say hi. Welcome. They had a little girl with them, found out their little girl was dancing with the same girl that my daughter danced with, and now I got a lead. Right? But I stopped worrying about getting contact information because I didn't care. Go ahead.
So this is the first open house I've done since, what was it, Diana? October, I think, was the last one we did time. And I've been fretting over this contact or this sign-in form. And I love the idea of a feedback form. So on the feedback form, is it just a blank, what do you want to call it? Is it just a little blank?
Hold on a second. I'm gonna go get it.
Okay.
Well, hopefully she's got one in her room. It might be in the open house kit.
Taylor, what open house were you at this weekend? Which one?
One in Spring Mesa.
Okay.
It's Mara and Sherry's listing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I use sign-in sheets and I just let people fill out what they will. And sometimes I say that we're doing a raffle and sometimes people turn around and correct their information. It's really funny to watch.
I like that.
I love that. Okay. So this is what it looks like. It's basically, is that a half a sheet of paper? Yeah, it's a half a sheet of paper. So we have it in red and then we got some lines and some questions and then our branding. So the top says, please give your feedback. And then we ask for name, address, email, and phone number. Now this girl only gave me her street address and her phone number, but guess what? Good enough. I can fill in the rest. I can look it up.
Yeah.
Then the feedback on the form, we used to just have them fill it in, and Stacy changed this and it worked really well. So she has 1 to 10, 4 average, amazing above it. And then it says floor plan, price, curb appeal, location, and amenities. Okay. And then, so that's just this little section. Can you kind of get a feel for it?
Yeah.
Kind of, right? You can see it a little bit. All right. Then it says, what did you like most? And people filled in what they wanted. And then what did you like the least? And they can fill it in. And then other thoughts. And we got a couple rows for other thoughts, right? So we can free text it. Then at the bottom half, it said, would you like information on home sent you your email? Okay, we got to check the language on this. But right, but it says, yeah, would you like, she threw this together really fast Friday night. Would you like information on home sent to your email? I think is what she wants to say. Tell us what you're looking for. And then there's a section, neighborhood, ranch, 2-story townhome, bedrooms, bathrooms, price, other wishes. We actually did have people fill that out.
Wow.
Now, the other thing I would add to this is I put this in, I learned this from Corey Holtman. I never take credit for somebody else's ideas. And when she did a raffle, one of the questions she wrote is, are you planning to make a move in the next? And then she would put less than a year, less than 3 years, less than 5 years, or never. And it gives you an idea. And when we did Candelas Fest, we had like 6 people tell us they were planning to move in the next year. Needless to say, who do you think I'm calling? Right? So I would add that here. And then we just got our branding on the bottom. It says thank you. And then we've got our branding and then the Keller Williams Avenues logo. So you can just an idea, right? There's a million ways you can create them. Just do something simple. But I have found that year over year, people would rather do this because they do this after the fact. Then with COVID, we had to have the sign-in sheets. And so they just didn't work as well for us. For other people, they work great, right? I don't care. Just find you.
I switched to the signing sheet at the end, but that's a good idea too. But at the end, if they walk around and they kind of get a feel for where they're at, headspace is at, and then they want to sign in and contact you later on and kind of real soft about it.
Right. Well, and the other thing I like about this is then it's a separate sheet of paper,
Yeah.
right? And so if you look at the back, we wrote notes about these people, right? So these people, their friends live next door, right? And this is the jerk who told me it was overpriced by $100,000.
You're right, buddy.
Yeah, I don't argue with him. All I said was,
Market's gonna crash.
oh yeah, he said that too. We had a couple of real winners in there, but you know what? I don't care. You're gonna have those everywhere. They just remind you how much you appreciate the other ones, right? But the other nice part is that when you're tag teaming with a buddy, right? And so I know Diane and Diana, you guys like to join together, you like working together, you're getting into a rhythm together. And the more you do them together, the more that rhythm gets into play. But the nice part about something like this is we used to, before Stacy and I were partners, we would just put a cross up in the corner, S or M, or we'd leave it blank. So if I made a really strong connection with them, we put an M. If Stacy made a really strong connection, we put an S. If neither one of us made a connection, we just leave it blank. And then at the end of the day, we go, okay, this one has S on it. You connected with them. You take this one, I'll take this one. And then we would just divide up the other ones. And it really worked well because if they didn't like me making the follow-up call wasn't going to do us any good. Right. So that's why I like using these. They work well in so many different ways, but anything will work. You just have to figure out your plan. And I will tell you, I believe that texting them when they walked out the door was amazing, huge.
You know,
Okay.
Margaret, the number of seminars or sessions that I went to at my house during family reunion that said they do that, and that was the most important thing. I believe it. I can understand.
Yep. And literally, so do you guys need me to send that back out to you again, that instruction, that branded open house that, I mean, they literally told you what to type. No, y'all got it? Okay. Anyway,
I have an open house email from you, but I don't have anything attached to it. That's the only thing. So.
Okay. Now, this communication plan that I'm going to send out to you does not replace a smart plan. Because you'll notice this is heavy text and phone. If you layer that in with a smart plan, that's going to just give you another level. Okay. The other thing is start using command instead of RE Colorado to put them on auto searches. Because if you put them in a search in command, you can see what houses they're looking at.
Can't you see that also in RE Colorado too? Or
Not specifically which houses. No, you can only see they were there. Oh my God, our hour is up already. Is that true? Yeah, they didn't change my clock. We're only getting started according to the clock. It's only 10 o'clock. Anyway, I didn't do anything that I planned to do with you guys today. However, I feel like there might have been some valuableness stuff here. So I am going, how many of you want open houses this weekend?
I'll take one.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm going to reach out to my people, because here's the other thing. Last time I had one open house, I had a few extra people, so I went and found more open houses, and then people all bailed on me. And so if I know, or I'll get open houses and I can't fill them. And so I'm not going to go ask people for open houses and then tell them we can't do it. But if you guys are willing to play, I'll get you, I'm going to see if I can get us some open houses this weekend. But Diane, I heard you already have some with Bob.
Me and Diana have open houses with Bob.
So you don't
Okay.
need me to find you an open house this weekend. Okay, so Taylor needs one, Nikki needs one, Jeff needs one. Okay,
And I have a lender partner of somebody.
yeah, so if you, and Taylor does too. So, okay, awesome. All right, you guys have a great week. Get on your one-on-ones with me. I will see you all soon. Go call everybody you've ever met at an open house, and I invite them to when? April 19th. How to buy a home in 2023. Okay, all righty. See you. Bye.
I said-